Hello, everyone, and welcome to Simply Recollect. I'm Valerie. Whether you're just starting out or looking for fresh inspiration, my goal is to make crafting simple, fun, and faithful. So let's jump right in. 3D dandelions made with Cricut. Let's learn how. So these dandelions I made by cutting a ton of acetate sheets to cut the dandelion seeds from. So I'm going to walk you guys through how to do that. Here's what you need to get started. You need a Cricut cutting machine. You need some acetate sheets. For the size I'm going to show you today, you need 6 to 7 12 by 12 sheets. You need the standard grip cutting mat, the fine point cutting blade. You need a foam ball. 1 inch is a good size for the extra large version. You need some plastic straws or coffee stir sticks. And you need hot glue and a glue gun. Then you're going to need some toothpicks. Now, if you're making the giant yard size version, you would want to use barbecue wood skewers. But toothpicks is good for this size. And that's it. All right, so how do we make the dandelions? In Design Space, I have 2 options for sizing on my profile. You can make the giant yard size here, or if you want to make the handheld extra large size, there's that option as well. So for this tutorial for assembly, I'm going to show you guys how to do this size, the handheld. So for the handheld, you need about 130 seeds to fill up a 1 inch foam ball. So I've got 4 different variations of seed images to cut for the dandelions. I would cut about half full size and half of the half size. However, in order to make this on the Explore and Maker machines, we need to create a custom cut setting. Because if you look very closely, these cuts on the dandelions, the full size, are very intricate. Now, Cricut settings for cutting acetate, it's 2 time passes. So you want to make a custom setting that only is going to pass once. First, create your copy, your project copies. I'm going to say about 30 each. To make this extra large handheld size, you're going to need about 6 sheets of acetate, Cricut acetate, the 12 by 12 sheets. I would have an extra just in case you need some to fluff or you make some mistakes. But you'll need about 6. So we're going to go create a custom cut setting. Click Browse All Materials. Now, if you look under the settings for the foil acetate, which is what we're cutting today, go under Material Settings and scroll down to foil acetate. And you'll see the cut pressure is 321. It has 2 times passes with the fine point blade. We want 1 pass with more pressure for this particular project. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our own custom setting. So scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list and click on Add New Material. You're going to name it. So we will name ours Intricate Acetate. And then you click Save. And now you have the option to enter the settings that you want. So we're going to make sure we got 2 times pass is off. We want 1 pass only. We want fine point blade. And then we're going to make sure we're going to increase the pressure as high as it'll go to 350. Now, once you've got that set like you want, you're going to click Save. So now, when I want to pick a material setting, I can pick Intricate Acetate, and it's going to do 350 pressure and 1 pass. So we're going to select that. Now, if you test cut one seed first, which is what I would do, I would first do one cut with default pressure. If this new custom setting still isn't giving you a clean cut, go ahead and select more and cut the rest of your seeds with the custom setting and pressure set to more, and go from there. You will use the standard grip mat and make sure that you remove the film from both sides of your acetate sheet before cutting. Put your acetate sheet on the standard grip mat. Make sure you have your fine point blade in and load. You're going to go through, do a test cut, like I said, and make sure you get a clean cut. Once you do that, go ahead and cut out all your seeds. Once you have all your seeds cut, remove them from the mat and we'll start shaping. So they should look like this. This is the full size, one of the variations. And then you'll have half size. Each seed has a hole cut out. The halves and the full size, if you can see. Okay, once you have all your dandelion seeds cut out, that honestly takes the longest. Now, the next step is to shape the seeds. So you're just gonna take the full seeds and fold up. So take each little edge and fold the seeds upward. And honestly, it doesn't matter. They don't need to look the same. They don't need to look uniform. It's okay if they go sideways or look a little crazy, because all that different dimension is gonna fill in the full dandelion once you get it all put together. So something to just give it some shape, if you can tell. Then you want to attach your little seed cups, as I like to call them, to a toothpick for the extra large version. For the giant version, you'll be attaching them to bamboo skewers. So take a toothpick, put it through the center hole, and then you're gonna add a drop of glue to the top of the toothpick, not the acetate, it'll melt it. So you're just gonna add a little bit of glue, a drop on top. And that's basically just to make sure that that seed isn't gonna come off of the toothpick. That'll dry. And then the trick for this dandelion, you can make it to where the seeds are permanent and they can't fly off. If you want the whole thing to be permanent, glue them all in. But I designed it to where you can blow air at the dandelion and some of the seeds will fly off like a real dandelion in real life. So if you want that effect, for a small portion of your foam ball, you will want to just glue in the coffee stir straw so that it's an empty holder like that. So I'll show that. And you want a low temp hot glue for this because you're using a lot of plastic and otherwise it will melt. So just glue the coffee stir stick down in there. And like I said, for those that we want to fly off, you just glue the holder. These you'll just set into place before you blow them off. Okay. Now for your seeds that you want stuck in place, same thing. You're gonna take your cut image, and the half seeds just have a little flap. So you basically just fold your flap up on the half seeds. Put the toothpick through the hole. And for these, you're gonna put a drop of glue here and glue it to itself like this. Very small drop of glue. You don't want to melt your seed or your finger. And then just hold it glued to the toothpick like that. And if you want, you can bend the little petals opposite ways. Again, add a little character, because you want them not perfect. You don't want them in one single line, because you want the fluffiness. So for these that we're gluing into place, you want to glue the edge of the toothpick into these. So just add a little drop of glue to the end and go ahead and glue it in place. Now these, you'll go ahead and put glue on the end, and then you're gonna glue it into place on the ball. This project is very simple. It's just a lot of cutting and gluing. It's extremely time consuming because of that. So just stick it in there and hold it in place. And that's it. You just continue doing that throughout. Once you get, and sometimes I'll just make all my seeds first and then put them in. And like I said, if you want to leave a portion to where they can fly off, just put them halfway like that. And then when you use air, they fly off like that. So it's up to you how you want to do it. You can glue the little black stems in place and have them fly off from there, or you can glue the black stems in place on the seed and just they fly off. So you know the basics of how to assemble it. Let's talk about how to light it up and make it just a little bit extra. So the main differences for the giant yard size is that you need a long PVC pipe or a wood dowel, old broom handle, whatever works, but something long that you're going to be able to stake it in the ground with. And to add lights to the giant yard size version, you're going to need something like an LED drop light kit. You want LED specifically because it needs to not burn the inside of the styrofoam ball. But that's another tutorial for another time. To finish this small dandelion, I would just suggest stringing some fairy lights, and I'll show you how to do that. I didn't add lights to my smaller size one, so I'm going to use the big example pictures to show you how. But first, you're just going to string the fairy lights along the bottom of the stems where they enter the foam ball. And then after you have it strung around one row of that, you'll take the excess of the string that's left, if there is any, which on the small size there will be, and then string that and glue it to the top of the wood rods right under the seeds. And the last thing that you'll do is take the battery packs for your fairy lights and tape those to the rod of your dandelion, the stem. Congrats, you're done. Enjoy our bloopers. And that's it for this one, but I've got more to come. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Comment down below so I know this is helpful. Follow along for more.